That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff. But
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon, you want one quick question?
We can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.
Yeah. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Rashad Milligan. If you are new to the channel, this is a road to 5K subs. So we're gonna take it all the way down to go all the way down. We're gonna start with Mr. Karmelo Anthony, and the reason why I'm going with Karmelo Anthony is because there's so many stories and different things that come out each and every single day about this case. It's insane. So I guess as long as this stuff keeps coming out, we will continue to talk about it. First thing, we are going to go to Blavity. Shouts out to Blavity. Support Black media. Shouts out to Black media. This was written by Tomas Casahan. Tomas Casahan. Shout out to Tomas Casahan. But yes, Karmelo Anthony case, Black woman judge who reduced the bond is receiving threats. So as you guys know, if you guys didn't know, Karmelo's bond was reduced after a hearing, and it was reduced from now see, if I say a number, then people come after everything with this case. I get it. But I believe we'll read it in the story. I'll leave it to the story. A Texas judge who reduced the bond for 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony is beefing up security after receiving death threats following her decision to reduce Anthony's bail from $1 million to $250,000, TMZ reported. The Collin County Sheriff's Office said investigators are still looking to identify the person who made the threats against Judge Angela Tucker. It also appears that Tucker has switched her X account to private. What investigators are saying about threats against Judge Angela Tucker. If the individual responsible is identified, potential charges could include unlawful disclosure of a resident's address or telephone number, and obstruction or retaliation, the Collin County Sheriff's Office said, according to TMZ. What is Karmelo Anthony charged with? Anthony is charged with allegedly fellow track athlete Austin Metcalf during an argument on April 2nd. He is now facing one count of first-degree felony unaliving. Anthony's attorney argued that his bond should be reduced to the lack of criminal history. As a trade-off, though, Anthony was ordered to wear an ankle monitor and stay home on house arrest. As Black Video reported, Anthony allegedly Metcalf after he told him to move out from a tent that was reserved for his team during a track meet in Frisco, Texas. Metcalf was unalive at the hospital. He passed away at the hospital. Anthony admitted to the crime after he was arrested, but he also said he was acting in self-defense. Is Karmelo Anthony facing the life penalty? Citing 2005's Roper versus Simmons ruling, Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis said Anthony would not face the life penalty if convicted. The Supreme Court has said not only can you seek the life penalty against someone who committed a crime even when they're 17, you can't even get them life without parole, Willis said. Fair people, that would not be something we could do even if we wanted to. So that's the first thing. It's the judges receiving threats for bringing down the bond after the initial hearing, and they was like, oh, self-defense, and he didn't have a criminal past. So yeah, there's that. That's the first piece of this. Are we still following along? So we're going to the second piece of this, which is, this is from, okay, we lost, okay, but the microphone's still gone. This is from News Nation Now. This is from an attorney, criminal defense attorney, who spoke to News Nation Now, I believe. Shout out to Sierra Campbell for penning this piece. And yeah, let's get into it. Karmelo Anthony case, self-defense explained by a criminal defense attorney. And I believe this is the attorney right here who is speaking in said article. News Nation. Karmelo Anthony, the 17-year-old accused of fatally another student, Austin Metcalf, at a track meet. Could you try to use self-defense as a reasoning behind the Anthony has been charged in a unaliving of Metcalf following a verbal dispute at a high school track meet in Frisco, Texas. During an argument caused by between the two teens, Anthony allegedly pulled out a weapon and Metcalf in the chest. Metcalf passed away in the arms of his twin brother. Can Carmelo Anthony's case be considered self-defense? Anthony was taken into custody and reportedly asked officers if the incident could be seen as self-defense. Criminal defense attorney Mark O'Mara, Mark O'Mara. How do you pronounce this, guys? Oh, we got people in here. Shouts out to Therese Brown. She said LOL. And then she said, I feel bad, even LOL, and Austin is gone forever. Can he be tried as an adult, then get life without parole? I have to research this. According to the last story, no. According to the last story, no, Therese. I've been crying ever since. I'm so sorry. I'm going to continue reading. However, Omar did say that you still have to see if Anthony used quote unquote appropriate force and if he ever felt like he was in imminent fear of great bodily injury. Anthony also said, as far as we're treating young black males in the system, such that maybe he would have felt more preyed upon. This attorney, by the way, just so you guys, this is him. This is this guy speaking. I believe is Mark O'Mara. Hold on, let me. I gotta fact check everything now. Make sure I'm right, because I be saying something, and if it's wrong, it is him. This is Mark O'Mara. This is right here. So this is him saying this. Just getting ahead of ourselves. So I'm gonna read that last thing. Anthony also said, as far as we're treating young black males in the system, such that maybe he would have felt more preyed upon. Okay, so Anthony said that. We live in a society where everything is judged based off of race. Der Schwartz said, let's not kid ourselves. We live in a race-conscious society. He said, at the end of the day, who is selected for jury will determine the outcome of Anthony's case. And as you guys know, Austin Metcalf's father, he came out when everything first happened. And he was like, please don't make this a race. I saw something that was like today of one person. They were like, Austin's life matter, white lives matter. And a black person quote tweeted and said all lives matter. And I'm like, oh man, this thing is ugly. I tell you that. This thing is ugly. And it's crazy. Like, I felt like Austin Metcalf's dad saw it initially, like the first couple of hours. He was like, please don't make this. Please, guys, let's just keep it as a human issue. And hey, you guys have watched it in real time with what it's evolved into. Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis told News Nation's Chris Cuomo his office hasn't received the case yet, but vowed to follow the truth, quote unquote, wherever it leads. People are upset, and rightfully so, Willis said. We've lost a young life, and the pain is real. Willis added, this is a heartbreaking case, but even in the heartbreak, we have the responsibility to do the right thing and in the right way, and my office will do that. Carmelo Anthony's bond reduced significantly. On Tuesday, court received a bond for Anthony for $1 million to $250,000 and said he would allow him to be on house arrest. Suspect faces. Oh no, this is a whole nother story. News Nation's website, their subtitles, they're like shaped as like the related articles that they place in between the just geeky website layout stuff that I'm noticing. Anthony will be required to wear an ankle monitor during house arrest, and he will only be allowed to travel to his attorney's office or court meetings. He will also be required to check in regularly with the court, be supervised by a parent or a designated adult at all times, and will not be allowed to contact Metcalf's family. So that's what's going on right there. So that's number 2. An attorney gave his case for why they will go for self-defense and if they can win with self-defense in the case. That was number 2. Number 1 was the judge. Let's recap, class. The judge has been threatened for reducing the bond amount from $1 million to $250,000. The second thing we reviewed today is a white attorney going on News Nation with Chris Cuomo and explaining how Anthony's defense team can win with the argument of self-defense in this case. The third thing that we're going to look tonight is the final thing that we're going to look tonight with Carmelo Anthony, and then we're moving on for the day. This is from TMZ, and it is Gibson Go. Carmelo Anthony has not used the money from his fundraiser even after he satisfies the $250,000 bail. Hold on. We got a couple more things from Teresa. Let me see this. So Carmelo is going to be working on his acting skills. Oh my goodness. so he can pull off the role of his life like he was even scared at all. He knew that he had the weapon the whole time, so that would make him lying. All right. The next thing that Teresa said, when he would say that he was scared for his life, don't you think? Oh yeah. I mean, you have to. It's a if you're pleading self defense, like self defense means that you were fearing, what I'm saying, your life, right? So that's how that goes. Like it's just is what it is. All right, so cool. So as we know, I'm not even gonna give the I'm just gonna read the stories because every time I try to and I say something wrong, so I'm gonna just read the thing. This was written by who was this written by TMZ? Shout out to TMZ and whoever wrote this. They didn't give you a byline, bro. Carmelo Anthony has not withdrawn funds from his nearly $450,000 Go Send Go fundraiser, even after he walked free from the slammer on a $250,000 bond on Monday. Jacob Wells, co-founder of the popular crowdsourcing platform, tells TMZ no funds have been distributed as the company receives quote-unquote clarity from the campaign recipient on the use of funds so that people that have been given confident in how their donation is being used. The revelation comes while folks question how Anthony satisfied his $250,000 bond, which a judge reduced from $1 million, and how his family is covering legal costs as the 17-year-old faces first-degree unaliving charges in the stabbing, unaliving of Austin Metcalf in Frisco, Texas, track meet earlier this month, all while allegedly living in a $900,000 rental home. Wells further clarifies to TMZ campaign recipients are usually able to withdraw donation 72 hours after a donation is made, either in full or a specific amount. However, he said there are certain scenarios in which a hold can be placed on the campaign to ensure proper verification in terms of service alignment. For example, he also said there's a chance a small reserve could be withheld to cover potential chargebacks and refunds, which sometimes happens in high-profile campaigns. He further notes 100% of the money raised goes towards the recipient, and that Go Send Goes does not skim from campaigns. Rather, those donating are allowed to make a gift to the site to ensure it remains free for all. And those offended that Give Send Go. So I'm so sorry, I'm getting tongue tied. That Give Send Go chooses to be involved with someone charged with unaliving. Wells tells teams he is not up to the company to decide Anthony's guilt or innocence, and that his case needs to be hold on, adjudicated in the court of law. Give Send Go has allowed fundraisers from all views of political and ideological spectrum, including campaigns for highly polarizing characters such as Luigi Mangione, Kyle Rittenhouse, and Derek Chauvin. I did not know he had a Give Send Go. That's crazy. Derek Chauvin. All with the belief that justice will be served inside the courtroom. That's fair. TMZ has reached out to Anthony's lawyer, Michael Howard, regarding the weight on those funds. So far, no word back. So yeah, a lot of people kind of jumped out and said, this is, and I'm just going off the comments and things that I heard. All right, so we're gonna start off with a disclaimer right there. A lot of people have said this is like Black Lives Matter Part 2, of just where people donate a bunch of money to Black Lives Matter, and the owner of the organization or the founder of the organization uses it to live lavishly with mansions and cars, kind of like from a lot of the money that people donated to the organization. And I think this report came out to say, no, that's not the case. Actually, they haven't touched any of the money. As you guys know, if you guys looked at the last video that I did on Carmelo, the bond amount came from a local pastor. When he went to the Bell's bondsman place and stuff like that, he said, we're getting it out, the 25,000. The pastor said, I'll take care of all of it. Or the person at the Bell's bond office. It might not be a pastor. I have to watch every single thing I say here because it's a very particular case. He said, I'll take care of the 25,000. So they didn't touch the 400,000 that they've raised so far on Give Send Go. So that's what's going on right now. And in terms of why would you need to be in a gated community in a big fancy house, kind of, to be honest, to state the obvious, if we go back just two stories, and I'm about to get to you, Therese, in a second. we'll go back 2 stories, right? At the beginning of this stream, the Blavity story from Thomas. Um, the black woman judge who reduced his bond from $1 million to $250,000 has already received threats. According to past reports from WFAA, the local reports in the Texas. Hold on. All right, hold on. Let me get the mic right. Let me get the mic right, y'all. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me get the mic right. All right, cool. Give me a second, y'all. Bet. We back in business. But like I said, if the black judge has already received threats, right, for reducing the bond, and the family has told local outlets, or it has been believed to be said that they've received threats in the aftermath of this entire situation that happened on April 2nd and is now April 16th. And the boy gets out and he's on house arrest. Where do you think they're gonna want him on house arrest, y'all? That's just a question. Where do you think they're gonna want him on house arrest? You think they're gonna want this joke on in house arrest in their regular house, in the regular neighborhood? When the family received threats, the judge received threats, and I'm gonna assume that the boy is gonna receive threats himself. You gonna stay in a regular house, or you gonna go in a gated community with security and with everything? The thing about online threats is a lot of times it's just some people off the rocker talking. Other times it's some people that's really crazy in real life and will go in, try an attempt to do what they said they was going to do online. And I think because of that, with a 17-year-old and everything like that, bruh, I mean, hey, I get it renting out a gated community house. Okay, all right, cool. Let me catch up with Teresa's comments and then we'll move on to the next thing. All right. Okay, this is the next one. She said, yeah, but he knew that he had the weapon, so he wouldn't have been scared. I think he jumped the gun and overreacted big time. Okay, I'll just read that out loud. But it seems like he didn't have any remorse, which really bothers me. These are all like things I just can't I can't comment on because I wasn't there, and I'm not him and I'm not his family. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like anything I would comment in response to that, they're all hypotheticals. And you can get in trouble with hypotheticals, bro. Saying it on camera, on the internet, and the way that, you know what I'm saying, this story's been going, I don't even want to place myself in a position to get in any type of trouble myself. So, but I will say, just based off of the reports that we've heard so far, right? The initial, I believe it was the initial police report, they said when he was in custody, when he was in the back of the police car, he asked, is the kid okay? He asked, is Austin okay? That's what he asked according to the initial police report. So he hasn't said anything. He hasn't given a public apology. Honestly, to keep it a bean, a 17-year-old in a case as high profile as this, they probably told dude not to say a thing, bro. Which makes sense, because I mean, like, he's 17. And it's like the biggest story in America right now. It's like Trump's tariffs and this. Like, those are like the two biggest stories in America right now. So I mean, they probably told him to say nothing. Because they already said, like, they ordered him that he can only stay in the house and he can only leave the house to go to the attorney's office or to go to a court hearing. And then they said he can't contact the family. So he can't contact the family. Why would he put out a public apology right now? I just don't know legally if that's the best move. Okay, he will offer a public apology so the Metcalf family would know that he has shown remorse, and we spoke about that. Because I know he can't contact them at all. Okay, and then so yeah, we agreed on that. I got to that. This is from Virgin Hamilton. He was defending himself. Okay, so now we're back to Therese. Therese, she said the way he isn't owning up to his actions that brought this about. Instead of just being cool and saying, "Okay, bro, I just wanted out of the rain." Like I said, I was not in Texas on April 2nd at the track. I was probably in like Louisiana. So I don't know. I don't know. I can't speak on that. I can't speak on that. Legally speaking, I just can't. Those are tricky, murky waters. She said he chose to be rude and confrontational. I think, you know what I'm saying? I'll say when it comes to the trial and the witnesses, because didn't they say now, so, see, I don't want to throw out a wrong number here. Every single thing that I say in this matters. Like every single thing I say, every word matters. So I'll say this: in the trial, I've seen in previous reports or I've heard that there are a lot of people. How do you say it? A lot of people, a lot of witnesses. I've heard that there were a lot of witnesses around. So we'll see in the trial which witnesses they bring to the stand and how they recall the situation. I'll say that about that because I wasn't there, but the witnesses they were there. So we'll see how that goes. Jerome Autry said, "Keep going." I appreciate that, Jerome, for sure. The first interview the twins gave is we saw. Okay, yeah. The twin said that from the jump. I remember that interview where the twin was like, "I saw." And then he said, "What happened after that?" He said, "I don't want to talk about it. I don't even want to remember." And he turned away from the camera. And his dad was like, "Don't make this a race thing." And a couple weeks later, it's the biggest race story in like years. But anyways, the first interview the twins gave, we were passing through and saw Karmelo and went in the tent. Austin said things. They argue. Austin hit him. He said, "Don't hit me again or else." Austin went in again. Yeah. I remember that interview. Therese said, "Yeah, I get it. I should read up on the terms of these platforms because it's been a while. I don't know what I can and can't really. I just try to be in everyone's shoes and try to understand." I understand that, Therese, and that comes from a place of you're not coming from a place of harm. So I appreciate that you're saying that and you're open about it. Uh, I'll give you an example. So because I come from media, so it's like I like learned this stuff in school and college. And I think that's why it's important that people who kind of do similar things like this at least take a class or something like an intro class in college because like you need to know the laws. An example like in the entertainment world, Tasha K is a blogger. And so one day she kind of ran with these Cardi B rumors that somebody told her that like Cardi B was doing something. Cardi B sued her for slander, and it got to the point where the girl had to Tasha K ended up moving to like Africa, and like Cardi B still pushed her in court to take like all of her belongings, and like she owes like $4 million to Cardi B nearly just for stuff that she said on YouTube. So yeah, when it comes to stuff like this, you have to watch every single thing you say because if you say something wrong and it looks bad on the other party, then that party can take legal action. And I don't have no $4 million right now for that. I don't know if the interview's still up. Yeah, Bergeron, the interview's still up. It might be. I don't know. I haven't looked at it, but I remember when it came out. These twins, though, if you actually look up their high school friends, they are loved and positive, and they are absolutely not bullies. They are actually opposites, and they protected their peers. Therese also said that's how their friends of the twins and fellow students said about the Metcalf twins. See, this is again, you know what I'm saying? Like, folks wasn't there. So I don't know. I just don't know. I wasn't there. So I don't know. I don't know the dynamic between all the parties involved. I don't know. I don't know how it went down. I don't know. I can only read what's out and I gotta stick to that. So but yeah, man. I appreciate the comment from Gentry or Jerome. Jerome, I'm sorry. From Jerome. It was a positive comment, man. And I haven't shown enough love to like the positive comments in this entire ordeal. I just be like responding to the trolls, like the dude that said I ain't have a dad because I laughed at his name being Carmelo Anthony. He said I didn't have a father because of that. And I was like, bro, I just talked to my dad, bro. But anyways, I'm gonna move on to the next thing. If that's it. Hold on, let me see. Unless I can find this Metcalf twin interview. If this is still out, I'll pull that up just because it was brought up. And then if not, then I'll move on to the next thing. They might have moved this stuff. I ain't gonna hold you. Oh, here it is right here. There's one right here. Damn, that's tough. I ain't gonna hold you. That's tough. That's tough for sure. I was wondering where I knew this dude from, and then I read it, the Will Kane show. Will Kane used to be on ESPN. For those of you who don't know, he's like a big conservative, and now that's what he does now. That's his main thing. But he used to be in sports. Who he talking to? He talking to a lawyer? Who he talking to? Who he talking to right here? Oh, let's see. You seen her face when he said, "Yeah, your husband forgave." She looking like I ain't forgave him. I was like, this is not funny. This is not funny. Just, I'm gonna sit back and shut up. Oh yeah. She said it. She said it. She said it. Sheesh. Woo, boy. Hey, look, this child. Hey, look. Hey, I don't know if this one gonna be on Law Action Network where they had the YSL Young Thug trial and the Gotti trial and all that, or the Gotti brother, the Young Dolph trial. This is gonna be one of them ones. Hey, look, I grew up in a time with the Casey Anthony joint. You know, I went to high school with Jordan Davis actually, and I'm Trayvon Martin's age, so like I grew up with all them type of cases. This is gonna be one of them ones, bro. The mama hype. You see the brother, the brother, that's his twin. So I mean, of course, and he was right there, so he gonna feel away. And then the dad to say outright, like, don't make it a race thing. And people done made it a race thing to where I done seen some of the craziest, cruelest jokes and comments back and forth to people in these comment sections the past couple weeks. It's gonna be one of them trials, bro, for sure. She said that boy is crazy. She said that boy, she was referring to Carmelo. I mean, he is a boy. He's 17. So technically by law, he is a boy, but that is kind of crazy. Hold on. Let me see what she said though. Will Kane ain't even ask him. He just wanted to say that. He just wanted to like let people know, hey, I know you ain't asked me the question, but I want to. All right. Hold on. Okay. Let me see. Let me see what Therese said during this interview. All right, baby. I'm grassroots. I remember when people started and see their success. I love it. Shout out to Jerome for sure. Positivity. All right, let me see. If these twins, okay. That was the last one I seen from Therese. That's how they're fans. Okay. We got to that. All right. I mean, these kids, they lived there and they knew them personally. So this is the firsthand witness statements. If you look up Tamara Neely, that's where I get my info from. If it's not an official news person, I ain't going on no social media. I went on the last video when Karmelo was bonded out. I went on the attorneys, not the attorney, the civil rights activist that walked beside Karmelo. I went on his Facebook, and I only went on his Facebook because he's literally in the video walking next to Karmelo, and he kind of like blocked a reporter from like bum rushing him when he was getting out of. That's the only time I'm going on social media saying I ain't anything else need to be directly from this. I pulled this up because it's directly from the family's mouths. It don't look like no AI. I'm going to trust that this is a real Fox News report and segment from the Will Kane show. Got to be careful with that stuff. You will see Tamara and Hera. I promise you she's a beautiful soul and would not spread lies. She said, no, look at the first interview. He was barely able to talk. He was still trying to make sense of what happened. His twin brother just left him forever in his eyes. Watch the second interview. 100%. I mean, like, that's his twin. You know what I'm saying? Like, twins have a special, different type of connection on Earth. 100%. Like, I've seen it firsthand in my family and everything like that. So, I mean, regardless of what happened and how it happened, like, your twin is going to always, you know what I'm saying, be there for you for sure. You know, because y'all just got a different type of connection that other people really, I don't know if they'll ever be able to really understand for real. So yeah, but that's 30 minutes on that today. I didn't expect to do 30 minutes on Karmelo tonight. We'll probably have more stories and more angles on him tomorrow when we go live. So we'll go with that. I appreciate everybody for tuning in for this one. I'm gonna continue moving on. So yeah, this is it for y'all. Y'all just wanted to know about Karmelo. I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right, next thing. In the world of hip hop, Young Stoner Life Records has reportedly removed any post or mention of Gunna from their Instagram page. This is from the Gunna fandom Twitter page and stuff like that. And yeah, man, from this screenshot, there's no Gunna up here. There's no Gunna up here. And like, it's crazy because like when Gunna was when Thug was out, hold on, let me take this off the screen. I'm sorry. She said, okay, bye. Thank you, Therese. Love, good night. Y'all be safe. Okay. When Thug was in jail and Gunna got out, it was a thing of what happened when Thug was in jail and Gunna got out. Gunna released the album, and I think Thug and YSL label, they posted it and they said business is business. And they posted it like, we don't really rock with dude, but we gonna post it. You know what I'm saying? He makes us money. He bringing in money right now because Thug can't release music for real. And you know, Thug eventually released his album from Behind Bars and stuff like that, and had the Drake record with the "Oh You Went Too Wild," "Oh You Went Too Went" with the "Oh You Went." And the "Oh You Went" was a cool record. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was a cool record. Shout out to Drake on that. You know, I had to give Drake because my boy, he think I'm just a Drake hater. It's like, no, I'm just mad at Drake because Drake has the ability to really rap. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, if this is true, I think that's kind of wild. Like, I feel like they kind of moving kind of like, right? Like, they're moving kind of wild, bro. Like, he just had the whole thing where they try to grab nothing from you know, Twitter, from Young Thug saying like, this lady is the biggest liar in the DA's office in Georgia, right? And they tried to like revoke his entire probation because of that. Like, it's, they're running a tight ship here. They're waiting for any slip up from Young Thug or any reason to just like get him out of here. And so the fact that they would do anything like this to where a fan page can pick up on it and it can pick up steam, because I don't want you to say, "Oh, Rashad, were you adding to it by doing a video on it?" No, because how many views does this have before I did a video on it? This has 352,000 views before I ever did a video on it. So I don't want to hear, Rashad, you part of the problem, because no, it was already viral. It was already all of that. Let me go on the Young Stoner Records page myself. I'm limited in my like what I can see on Instagram because I'm not logged in. But this is the I don't know who this is. I guess just Slat. I don't know if this 1300 Saint or the new kid that they signed. That sound like low key, kind of like. Okay, this is a snippet. This is a barter. I don't know who this is. This might be the 1300 Saint kid. I don't know. I'm a bit on the older side, so I don't know all the youngins. Low key, rest in peace, low key. T Shine, shout out T Shine. Slime season. These just throwbacks of Thug and things of that sort. And a promotion flyer. So yeah, no Gunna up here. Do they follow Gunna? That's the thing, right? You got to see if they follow him. Let me see if I could find it on Twitter. Hold on. Young Stoner Life. Okay. We're going to look on Twitter and see. Yeah, they follow Gunna on Twitter. They follow him on Twitter, so I don't know, man. We'll see. But I felt like after that post, like they would have posted something Gunna today. Just to, you know what I'm saying? Just to be like Gunna. Because Gunna pretty big, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like he's doing the whole Afrobeats thing now, like on all these Afrobeat songs and stuff. Dang. So Gunna was on the list. Shout out Turbo. Shout out my dog Turbo, friend of the channel. If you know, you know. Okay. But I feel like that's enough. I'll leave it at that because that situation, I'm from the city, so can't just really be speaking on. So, people gonna be like, you think you know what you're talking about on that YouTube? And I'm like, I don't. I'm from Marietta, I promise. Next thing. Where we at? Twitter is allegedly getting rid of DMs. Shout out to Elon Musk, man, for continuing to ruin like a lot of people's favorite social media app. Elon Musk's X is to launch a messaging service called XChat. Here's what we know. This is from Times Now World, written by Shamik Banerjee. Banerjee. Shout out to Shamik. Hold on, give me a second. Elon Musk platform X, previously Twitter, is rumored to launch a messaging service called quote-unquote XChat, potentially competing with WhatsApp. Though unconfirmed, social media users have shared posts and screenshots claiming to show the pilot launch of XChat on their profiles. Elon Musk's own platform X, formerly known as Twitter, is rumored to soon be launching a messaging service called XChat that is suspected to be a competitor to Meta-owned WhatsApp. This is the first time I found out that Meta owned WhatsApp. Isn't it kind of crazy? Because it's like, wouldn't you think like Meta would be enough with Instagram DMs and Facebook Messenger, but they have WhatsApp as well? I didn't know that. Despite there being no confirmation, users on social media posted about the rumors, with some even sharing screenshots of what they claimed was the pilot launch of XChat visible on their X profiles. This is wild in all caps. Not much information is known, but the assumption is there will be a messaging service or email client. Odds are this could be competitive to WeChat one use. What is WeChat? What is all this stuff? Breaking. X is working on a messaging service called XChat. This is wild. Not much information. No. This is WeChat. What is WeChat? What is that? Preview. X is working on something called XChat. Speculation. We've known for a while that Elon wants to expand X's DM feature to compete with with WhatsApp. Perhaps that could be tied into that. Yeah, because he added the calls, so you can call people on the Twitter DMs now, like you can do on WhatsApp. And so I guess that's like the thing. So are the DMs still going to be the same? They're just going to change the name of DMs to XChat. Like, are our DMs gonna stay there, like a archive DMs or anything like that? Breaking X chat message with encryption coming soon to the X platform. Calling Twitter X is so crazy to me. X, formerly known as Twitter, is reportedly transitioning its messaging system to XChat or launching a new messaging service under the name of XChat, though details have yet to be confirmed, said somebody. In December 2024, Musk teased Xmail, a new email service aimed at addressing the frustrations of traditional email while competing with Gmail. He's trying to compete with everybody. Want it? Musk confirmed the plans for Xmail in response to a post by X user Mario Naval, promising a reimagined approach that maintains universal compatibility while eliminating outdated, clunky aspects of inboxes. In a post on X, he remarked that launching Xmail to rival Gmail, quote unquote, would be cool and should not spark much controversy. Get the latest news on Times Now, along with breaking news on top headlines on US Buzz, World, and around the world. So that's what it is. Shout out to Shamik for writing this. Yeah, that's my main thing. Is it literally gonna be like DMs still on Twitter? Like, cause I saw that Twitter was getting rid of DMs. Like the headline got me right. Cause I was like, getting rid of DMs is crazy. Like a lot of the interviews that I've scheduled and stuff like that has been through Twitter DMs. I've gotten a lot of business done through DMs. So, and I've done a lot of people's podcasts and shows just from them DMing me. So that would be crazy if they got rid of it and made people download another app like XChat to be able to communicate. It's just furthering kind of getting rid of the popularity of the platform that was like once on top. Because all the stubborn people like me are eventually gonna get tired of being stubborn after a while and just go, okay, all right, blue sky it is. I don't know about Threads because I don't know about Instagram. I don't know Instagram, but yeah. A place like Blue Sky, yeah. So now we are moving on to the next thing. FAMU has hired its new coach, Charlie Ward, the former Heisman Trophy winner, former standout at Florida State, turned NBA professional as well, Charlie Ward. I found out this man played for the Knicks just last night. I'm young and I'm from the South, so I don't know like all about the Knicks history and everything like that, but there's a lot of like celebrities and stuff like that that played for the Knicks and in the NBA in general in the 90s. Like you think about Master P, you think about Tisha Campbell's ex-husband. What's his name? Dwayne? Tisha Campbell's ex-husband. Hold on. Tisha Campbell ex-husband. His name is Dwayne Martin. Dwayne Martin, who's like a famous actor. He played for the Knicks in the 90s. You know, it's just, and now Charlie Ward, the Heisman Trophy winner, played for the Knicks. It's just things that I always think about. It's like the Knicks have a rich history, and the NBA had a rich history in the 90s of like letting celebrities play. But Jeff Van Gundy, he spoke about the hire of the new FAMU coach, and this is what he said. I think this is a stroke of genius by FAMU. I think that players and parents that choose to send their young man there, they're going to be absolutely thrilled. He's going to coach basketball very well. He's going to teach decision-making and invest in who they become. His wife and kids are phenomenal. They have a heck of a family coming in to lead that program. Shout out to Jeff Van Gundy. Excuse me. I'm about to say Sam Van Gundy. Shout out to Pete as well for posting this. He's like the senior, or as you see, senior football college writer for ESPN. He's been doing a lot of basketball stuff this offseason. I appreciate that. Shout out to Pete, a great journalist. And I also appreciate him for giving Liv props the last time that he sourced her and he did a thing. So shout out to Liv for Hoops as always. We support Black independent media. We support HBCUs on this side. The 5-year contract and details for Charlie Ward will be brought to the front of FAMU's Board of Trustees today and most likely will be approved. Ward, a first-round pick in 1994, played 11 years, Knicks, Spurs, and Rockets. He played multiple years. This hire will be the 16th FAMU men's basketball coach. And Liv played for the women's basketball team at FAMU. She's a Rattler herself. So shouts out to Liv, man. Kill it in the media space and giving us some breaking news and great stuff as well. So that was before the day, right? That was at the beginning of the day. And then the end of the day, we got this from Offscript. Shout out to Offscript. Once again, another independent media platform talking about HBCUs. Breaking. Charlie Ward's 5-year deal to become FAMU's men's basketball. Year 1 will be $175,000. Year 2, $185,000. Year 3, $195,000. Year 4, $205,000. Year 5, $215,000. And that is a total of $975,000 over 5 years. Cha-ching! Charlie Ward's FAMU buyout clause, if he leaves with 12 and with a year left, that's $200,000 to a Power 4 school or the Pro League. $100,000 if he goes to another SWAC school. And it's $50,000 if he goes to another non-Power 4 school, not in the SWAC. So if he goes to like a mid-major, it's $50,000. FAMU is protecting their investment early. So they must believe in this guy. If this is a buyout clause and all of that. And this goes back to the coach. Who was the coach that said in the NIL portal, like, if we lose guys to Power 4 schools, they should buy them out? Who was that said that? I believe it was a Texas Southern coach that said that. It was a great idea. Charlie Ward, like I said, I think just his name, being a celebrity, being a Heisman Trophy winner, I think that's going to bode well for recruiting and stuff like that, because you got to think about the parents as well. Like, you're going into parents' homes when you're recruiting college kids, when you're recruiting high school kids. And those parents are going to remember the days of Charlie Ward being the man, whether it be a Knicks fan or a Spurs fan or anybody else, or just a Florida State fan or a Heisman Trophy winner. And then he's recruiting and he's coaching in Tallahassee, where he runs that area. Like, he runs Tallahassee. If you're one of those, I remember when Travis Hunter first flipped from Florida State to Jackson State, right? And people were like, why would he do this? This is so head scratching. This is the most surprising move in the history of college athletics. I'm like, how is it surprising? A kid that's a cornerback and a multi-positional, multi-sport talented generational athlete, right, commits to a school, Florida State. Which generational, multi-sport, multi-positional athlete that went to Florida State can you think of that played cornerback? I'll give you just a chance to think about it. What do you think when you think of cornerbacks that go to Florida State historically? Who do you think of? Shouts out to Myron Roll for his role in the secondary and everything that he did going to Oxford and everything like that. That's kind of my generation to think of that. But just in general, history, who do you think of? Of course, the man that he went and flipped to play for. You will go to Florida State as a cornerback because you want to be from the greatest, and the greatest went to Florida State as a cornerback. Why not just play for the man himself directly and get the lessons from the man himself? I don't understand why that was such a big deal that he went to Jackson State. A kid that was committed to Florida State went to Jackson State because the reason why he went to Florida State in the first place was probably because the guy who's coaching at Jackson State. Anyways, so I say all of that to say this man being a Florida State legend, recruiting in the Tallahassee area, working in the Tallahassee area is going to bode extremely well for him. He's going to dominate that area when it comes to recruiting, when it comes to keeping the Florida boys in Florida and at his program. I'm excited to see what they do in the SWAC, bro. I'm not going to lie to you. And the SWAC is exciting right now because you got over at Jackson State, you got Mo Williams. And it's exciting, bro. It's exciting. Mo's trying to get some more money for NIL so they can get some more depth to go along with Kevion Hunt and Deshaun Ruffin. That combo, like Deshaun Ruffin's a McDonald's All-American. He still got something in his bag. It's an exciting time, bro. It's an exciting time in the SWAC. My boy, Kentavious Dozier over there, who was like the leading scorer and the best player on Grambling State for the past 2 years after transferring in from a JUCO. Thanks to the new JUCO transfer rules and stuff like that, he has another year of eligibility, and he's using that year of eligibility to go to Alabama A&M. And then you have Alabama State as well, who won the first 4 games in a very exciting fashion. So it's like the SWAC, man, got some look. Alabama A&M, Grambling State, got to respect them for what they've done in the past. Jackson State and Mo Williams, and now FAMU. Look, and is Brody still at Bethune-Cookman as the coach? Hold on, let me see. Bethune-Cookman, men's basketball coach. Who's the coach there? Is it still Reggie Theus? Reggie Theus still the coach. He's still the coach, bro. So you got Reggie Theus as a coach at Bethune-Cookman. So that's one former NBA veteran and former NBA coach and Big Three coach, Reggie Theus at Bethune-Cookman. You got Charlie Ward now at FAMU. You got Mo Williams, former NBA All-Star, former teammate of LeBron James at Jackson State. You got Alabama State coming off of an NCAA tournament win in the first four. And you got Alabama A&M, who just got the best kid from Grambling State, which was been one of the best teams in the SWAC the past couple of years. SWAC ain't gonna be no joke next season. So whoever come out the SWAC and go in the tournament, I expect them to win. If they place them in the first four again, I expect them to win. I don't say that right now. I expect whoever comes out the SWAC to win the first four game next season. You heard it here first. All right, so there's that. Congratulations to Charlie Ward. Best of luck to you and your family, and best of luck in building that culture and keeping it up in FAMU with basketball and stuff. But the FAMU coach went to another school, right? Like that's how this all happened. I don't know, man. It's some good basketball, bro. All right, Charles Barkley. I have no idea about this. This is my first time reading it. I just saw the story and I was like, oh, this would be nice. And I just copied and pasted into my notes. Charles Barkley on turning down NBC, current contract issues with ESPN and TNT. The NBA analyst says he has 7 years left on his contract, but he'll be done after 2 or 3. Just to give you guys background, Charles Barkley has said he's going to retire from broadcasting every year since about 2016. Every year he says, I'm going to retire. He said he was going to retire and run for the mayor of Leeds, Alabama. And then when he said he was going to retire and run like as the governor of Alabama, he did neither one of those things. He just stayed. And then he said he was going to leave a couple years ago, but he said he was staying to help Turner and their negotiations to keep rights to the NBA. He stayed for a couple more seasons. Turner lost their bid to the NBA, to Amazon and NBC and ESPN. And yeah, man. So now he's just kind of, I don't know. Like he said, the subhead says he has 7 years left on his contract, but he's only going to stay 2 or 3 more years. We'll see what happens. All right. Number one, did I shout out the writer? Who's the writer for this story? Jimmy Trainer. Shout out to Jimmy Trainer. Number one, TNT just finished airing its final regular season after a 36-year run with the NBA. Once the playoffs are completed, TNT will be done with the NBA. TNT's iconic studio show, though, featuring Ernie Johnson, Charles Barkley, Kenny Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal will continue on. Inside the NBA will remain a TNT production. However, the show will air on ABC and ESPN instead of TNT. ESPN supposedly will have nothing to do with the show. The deal calls for ESPN to only air the show on its network. How does Charles Barkley feel about the ESPN TNT deal? I asked him that question on the latest episode on SI Media with Jimmy Trainer. Okay, Jimmy Trainer, this is an original. The only thing that I'm working out right now is trying to figure out the length of the deal, said Barkley. I have 7 years left on my deal. There's no effing way that I'm working for 7 years. I'll be honest with you. I've been going back and forth with TNT for the last few months. I said, I think I can give you guys 2 years. They were like, can you give us 3? I said, guys, I really want this thing to work out for everybody, but I'm not just going to keep working for the hell of it. Barkley further explained, I'm happy with everything except for the length. I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do 2 or 3 years. That's the only holdup right now. There's no way I would do 7 years. While Barkley is happy with everything on the ESPN end, he's far from thrilled with the part of TNT part of this unusual deal. TNT wants to do some stuff too, Barkley said. We're going to do a pilot this week. I guess they don't want to pay us to do absolutely nothing. So my thing is, wait a minute. The ESPN schedule, ABC, ESPN, I don't think is going to be crazy. But we're not going to be doing all those other dang shows. I want to make that perfectly clear. It's an honor and privilege to work for ESPN, but I'm not going to be doing First Take, Get Up, Sports Center, Pat McAfee. That ain't going to happen. That was my first gripe, to be honest with you. If you guys don't know, there's a historic clip on Inside the NBA of one night. His man Charles said, oh, I don't want to be like them guys at that other network. And Ernie starts laughing. He say, yeah, they have you working on ESPN 1, ESPN 2, ESPN 3, ESPN News. He said, ESPN Deportes. He said you're gonna be talking about Comde on the esta on Charles Barkley a T, and then you know Shaq started gassing him up. He said, "What did they say, Shaq?" He said, "You're gonna be on ESPN Deportes talking about some Ola." Let me see if I can find that because that clip that's one of my favorite inside the NBA clips. ESPN Deportes inside the NBA. Here we go. Where we at? Where we at? Okay, cool. Um, he said you wake up the same people be on Sports Center that was on the night before. But that's essentially what he said. I'm gonna stop playing it right there because they gonna take down a whole lot of everything like that. But we're gonna start right there. Secondly, TNT guys, they say, guys, we want to try to do something. But what does that mean? They're like, we want to do something with you four guys. And I'm like, that's not an answer to my question. What are we gonna do? Well, we're gonna try to do something with you four guys like every week or every couple weeks. That's not an answer to my question. The lack of information from TNT and potential extra work is not sitting well with them. We're going to tape the first pilot this week and see what happens. It goes back to my original work. Are we going to be working for ESPN, ABC, and TNT, and it's going to double our workload? That's not going to happen. We're not going to keep the same TNT schedule and work for ABC, ESPN. That's not going to happen. What also isn't happening is Barkley leaving TNT. There have been speculation that Amazon, which will be a new NBA partner in the 2025-2026 season, and NBC, who will be back in business with the NBA this season, will pursue Barkley. During the podcast, Barkley set light on what happened with both of those outlets. Amazon, they didn't get anywhere. Barkley divulged. We had a couple of meetings, but that didn't get anywhere. I got a firm offer from NBC. I like NBC because my old boss, Mark Lazarus, he hired me at Turner. But they had too much stuff for me to do. They started out with 2 nights a week, then football's over. Then they went to 3 nights a week, and then they're going to have the Kentucky Derby. Then they had the Olympics. I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Yo, I love Charles Barkley, bro. This is hilarious. Even though they offered me more money, it wasn't worth me to work from a work standpoint. You can listen to the full interview with Barkley on SI Media with Jimmy Trainer below. Other topics discussed include Barkley's regret over the term, over the use of the term big old big ladies last week when referring to the San Antonio woman, his thoughts on Stephen A. Smith running for president, the NBA playoffs, and much more. You can listen to the SI Media with Jimmy Trainer podcast below or on Apple and Spotify. And yeah, you can also watch it on Sports Illustrated's YouTube channel. Okay, when I check the NBA playoffs, is he just talking on these? Okay, he's just talking on these. Okay, bet. All right, so next thing, man, we'll see how that works with them. I should have put this back to back with Charlie Ward, but Tremaine Jackson went viral. Well, it didn't go that well. 260,000 views is kind of viral. Tremaine Jackson, this is the former one-time Valdosta State head coach. He left, and he announced it like right after they lost in the national championship game, D2. If you ain't know, I went to Valdosta State as well. But yeah, man, he left to go to Prairie View and join the SWAC and kind of move up, go from D2 to D1. And he keeps it a beam, bro. He keeps it a beam, like with all the guys, he said. Portal people, if you're asking for so-and-so money and you know ain't another school average you that, then don't even ask for that. Like, what are you doing? This and that, woo. And So yeah, he keeps it real. So apparently he put up like this thing of the 5 testaments, the 5 rules, Panther Portal understanding. When I follow you, there's a 4-hour window to follow back or we are done. Send me your number, transcripts, and highlight in the first message. Exclamation point. Make sure you address my staff as coach and not bro or by first or last name. Don't ask me for NIL, which we do have. When PFF has you has taken less than 200 snaps on the year. You should have gotten your money from them. Now it's time to play. Pray, talk to your family, girlfriend, dog, and any other people before we offer you, not after you take 80 visits. I'm going to want to know ASAP. See, number 5 is a big red flag. I ain't gonna lie, like number 1 was tripping, but number 5 is crazy, bro. One time, I received this job offer, right, from a TV station, and I was working at a newspaper. And I said, "Can I get some time to think about it?" They said, "Okay, cool." So like, I prayed about it, and I came back probably like a day, maybe 2 days later, and I said, "I don't think I'm gonna take it. I don't feel well in my spirit about it. I just feel like with the direction of my career, I kind of feel a pulling to try to stay in this direction instead of going to TV." And she was offended, boy. She said, "TV will never die. Local news will never die. I don't care where you get that from." And like, cause I was like, I see local news kind of going down on TV and stuff like that. Like all my peers, they don't subscribe to cable. They subscribe to streaming services and they watch YouTube all day. And a lot of times when these local news networks, when they make cuts, the first department they cut is sports. So I don't want you to cut my department when I get there and then I lose my job. And ironically, I got laid off from the job that I was at 6 months later. But yeah, man, she went off on me, bro. And it's crazy because she was like a really nice lady, and she was like, "Yeah, glad you believe in Jesus." You know, we in the Bible Belt, it's Georgia, so it's like, "Oh, Jesus and this and that." She real nice lady. As soon as I turned down that offer, nice lady went out the window, boy, and it was just, "How could you? Why would you waste my time like that? Why'd you fill out the writing test if you knew you wasn't gonna take the?" It was crazy, bro. So number 5, I don't like. I don't like that at all, bro. I don't like it. Like you can't say pray before and make up your mind before, like because it's a heart thing, bro. It's a heart thing. It's a timing thing. You don't know. We're humans, bro. And he said highlight is spelled the way I intended it. Thank you for the concern, because he spelled highlight kind of crazy in the second one. I don't mind 2. I don't mind 3. I don't mind 4. I don't mind these. But 1 and 5 is crazy because it's like, what if the kid is working, right? What if you're working a job and you're not on your phone for 4 hours? And he followed you when you was at work trying to make away from your family because you don't have number 4, you don't have NIL at your current school. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. Or if you were in classes back to back, if you were in back to back classes, and so you're looking at your phone, because I know people will say, "You're going to look at your phone in the span of those 4 hours." Of course, you're going to look at your phone in the span of those 4 hours. What I'm saying is you look at your phone in the course of those 4 hours, you're looking at your notifications on the screen, and that's it. If you don't have your notifications for Twitter up on your thing, because I don't have my notifications for Twitter up on my phone, it don't come up in my home screen or whatever, my lock screen. You're not going to be able to see it, bro. You're going to have to manually go to Twitter, look at your notifications, and see that he follows you. You don't have to spot all that within 4 hours or like he unfollows you. That's crazy, bro. It's crazy in my opinion, especially like when you're busy. Say you're on a road trip. You're going from like Savannah to Atlanta. If you're going from Savannah to Atlanta, you can't check your phone to see if you know what I'm saying? 4 hours is kind of crazy, bro. You're going to be like stalking your things. And last time I checked, by the way, he was following like 1,000 people. Let's see. It was like 1,002 people he's following. Let's see how he's following right now. He's following 1,952. I don't know if that's close to where it used to be. If it was somewhere in the thousands or not. But hey, I'm going to look at these numbers and see if they went down. And we'll see if they went down. So, yeah, that's how I feel about it. I feel like it's kind of crazy. kind of crazy acts, but football coaches are generally like not very logical people. Like they're kind of like high maintenance and everything like that. He said, I didn't say look at the options. Again, you're off base. An exaggeration, I said visit 80. There must be a decision be made. Over the years, we've had a lot of success building young men into more than football players while maintaining a winning standard on the field. For you to say a parent should reject us is disappointing. I think with our track record of success, a parent should take a stronger look. Yeah, I mean, he has the results. I ain't gonna lie to you. His 1 year at Valdosta State, he went to the D2 national championship. Oh man. Oh. He said, nor have you been to practice. Well, first of all, Mr. Tremaine Jackson, Blake works in Jackson, Mississippi. He just works his final day at WJT. Salute to Blake, first of all. That's my dog. I knew him when he was working at a smaller station in the state of Mississippi. He was covering Greenwood and all them boys and stuff like that. And then someone left WJTV. I forgot who. He was a popular guy, the guy who left him, his predecessor. He stepped in and moved to WJTV. That was like in 2020. So he's been in Mississippi for like a good 6-7 years. But yeah, first of all, Coach Jackson, Blake works in Jackson, Mississippi. Prairie View is in Texas. He doesn't cover them. He doesn't cover Prairie View, bro. He covers the SWAC. So, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, he said, you're totally off base. Players want discipline and structure. The least that want to be successful that I know of. We want to run that type of program. If people don't vibe with it, then we're not for them. Dun, dun, dun. You're a reporter, but I haven't had a conversation with you, nor have you been to a practice. Find out how we do things and then make comments. You're welcome to come to our spring game at Panther Stadium tomorrow at 6 p.m. See you there, WTW. See, this is kind of like an act of like, I feel, how do you say? An act of, I want to make a show out of you. I don't want to get too deep into it, but if you know, you know, you know my history, everything like that, I'll say that coaches have shown to make an example of media members in order to make themselves maybe look better in the public eye and to get them on their side. Because, in the age of like fake news and the media is the bad person and everything like that, some coaches and certain people will say they hate it, but play into that knowing that the general public hates the media and has been taught to hate the media and not trust the media. And I don't trust the news. I don't do that. So majority of the people are thinking that. They're going to take every little moment to make a media person look like the bad guy, to make them look like the good guy and do this. I don't know if Blake is crazy enough. Like I said, he just finished his last day at WJTV. So maybe he has the time and he is crazy enough to rent a car and drive down however many hours it is. Hold on. Let me look it up. So Prairie View is in what part of Texas? Prairie View, Texas. Okay. So Prairie View to Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson, Mississippi. It is a 7-hour drive. I don't know if Blake is crazy enough just to prove a point to Coach Tremaine Jackson. Because if he's independent now, if he's independent media now, this is the perfect lob for a viral moment on his own independent media platform, right? If Blake is crazy enough to rent a car from Jackson tomorrow and drive 7 hours down to Prairie View in time for the 6 p.m. game of spring game for Prairie View, I ain't gonna lie, Blake got my respects, bro. If he crazy enough to do that, he crazy enough to do that. I don't know if Blake responded. Let me see if Blake responded. Because now I'm interested. Now I'm in it now. I'm in Houston at the end of April. That's what he said. He said he ain't gonna do it. He said, if you welcome me, I'll come to campus. He said, Coach, why not look at every job offer? I want my kids to look at options in life when it comes to schools. Most won't play in the NFL. Dang, son, where'd you find this? I ain't gonna lie, Blake might be cooking. He might be cooking. Okay. Yeah, that's what he said. He said, I'm in a Houston area at the end of April. If you welcome me, I'll come to campus. Now that's a responsible podcaster. Personally verify the details before firing off baseless junk. Stop at Bucky's on the way. Pull up tomorrow night. We tailgating and watching ball. Hopefully you'll understand Coach Miss. He can't. He's in Jackson, Mississippi. What are we not understanding about this? I gotta switch my camera. He's in Jackson, Mississippi. What are we not understanding about this? Do people not read bios? It says Jackson, Mississippi right here. But best of luck to Blake. If he's going independent, best of luck to Blake for going independent, bro. He's definitely captured the hearts of the Mississippians, the Sip boys and the Sip gals in Jacktown and the whole nine. So salute to Blake for sure. For embracing that community, and that community embraces him and loves him back, bro. So shout out to Blake for sure. Okay. Is that it? Is no. I got one more. I got two more things, but I'll go with this one first. Sheryl Lee Ralph. Sheryl Lee Ralph got her star at the Hollywood Walk of Fame today. Ice Cube got something too, where his feet and like hands were cemented in LA or something like that today as well. So first of all, salute to Ice Cube for sure. Very, very great businessman with what he's done with the big three as well. And shout out to Sheryl Lee Ralph, man. Shout out to Quinta Brunson, one of my biggest inspirations and people I look up to alongside Issa Rae and Donald Glover. Let's get and Tyler Creator and Kanye West. So, uh-uh. See, rest in peace, Sidney Poitier. Rest in peace, Sidney Poitier. Also, I wanted to shout out Zach Fox, Joe Johnson, uh, Steph Curry. It's also some of my biggest inspiration. I'm just naming people. Solange, Aubrey Plaza. Someone was walking by. That's hilarious. Hold on. Let me see this. Let me see this. Sheryl Lee Ralph, the Jeffersons. Sheryl Lee Ralph, Jeffersons. Jeffersons. Let me see. Okay. This Sheryl Lee Ralph and the Jeffersons? I ain't gonna lie, she looked the same. If this is her around the time of the Jeffersons, she looked the same. If that's Shirley, that don't really look like Shirley Ralph. Oh, this Shirley Ralph? It kind of do look like her. I ain't gonna lie to you. Oh, it looks exactly the same. That look exactly the same. I can't hold you. All right, let me get back to it. Wow. hold on. Let me see if the I'm gonna try to see if the audio. I don't think the audio is working on it. And if it isn't, that's like crazy.
Meal out of her changing the lives of Gen Xers and millennials everywhere as Florence Watson in Sister Act 2, telling us that singing doesn't put food on the table while simultaneously being nominated for Tonys on the side. Yes. I could talk for days about her coming into my home every week to help take care of a real piece of work named Moesha as the stern but loving Dee Mitchell, becoming a TV mom to Black girls and Black boys everywhere. But I don't have to, because I get to tell you about the experience that is the star of Sheryl day to day, season to season on Abbott Elementary. I can hear Sheryl beautifully humming a song in the morning as she readies herself in the dressing room next to mine. I watch as she enters the trailer with a smile and a laugh as if it's 5:30 p.m. instead of 5:30 a.m. I watch her help make little actors out of the children who star in our show by giving them tips to enunciate and to remember that being an actor is a job and an honor, not just something you get to do because you're cute. I can always count on Sheryl to be the actual star that people want to see. I tend to hide on the Warner Brothers lot when the cart comes by because in reality, I'm a little shy and I want to just get to makeup. But Sheryl sings to the people. She asked them, "How was your trip to Hollywood so far?" And she tells them to stream Abbott while giving them a smile brighter than the Hollywood sign itself, one they will never forget. Sometimes she doesn't even have her wig on yet, and she is giving these people the show of a lifetime. She is an experience. To be around her is to be around Hollywood history, grace, and legend. She is a masterclass in what it means to be an eternal and consistent diva. She commands the room and gives you a show. She is who you came to see, and she is our star. I love you, Sheryl. Congratulations.
Nah, for sure. I rock with Sheryl Lee Ralph, bro, because you can tell everything that she gets. Like, I remember when she won like the Academy Award for Abbott Elementary a couple years ago. Like, you can tell she legit appreciates it, bro. Like, she really appreciates it. And you can tell she's like a theater drama person to the fullest. But I appreciate that because it's cool to me when people care. Like, a lot of people, I feel like, I hate to sound old and say in this generation, but a lot of people like nowadays I feel like don't care. And I think deep down they do care, but like up front they won't show that they care. And they won't show that they care up front because of because of social media and stuff like that. Like, if you show you care, like, people can make fun of you. Like, if you show any sign of vulnerability, people use that as a soft spot and they attack you. Like, you know how many times people told me in the past month to stop YouTube and stop, like, you suck, stop what you're doing. Like, people will tell you, bro, if you be vulnerable and like share or present yourself, your art, your anything from the mind, anything creatively to the world, like, they'll tell you to stop. So it's like, because of that, people are kind of scared to show their full selves and be fully vulnerable. I feel like someone like a Sheryl Lee Ralph is someone from like, nah, I care, and I'm gonna let you know that I care. Why am I showing that I don't care? So I really appreciate that about her, and just to be the shining, positive, beaming light that she appears to be from the outside. I've never met her. I do not know her, but every single time I see her in public, she's always smiling. And I feel like that's something that you can't really fake. But so to be that every decade and generation since the 70s, I think it says a lot about her character and a lot about who she is as a person. And I'm so glad that she gets all these flowers while not only she can still smell them, but while she's still healthy to still be a leading cast member and a leading castmate and a star of a hot sitcom right now that is out right now. So shout out to Quinta Brunson for giving her the opportunity. And shout out to Sheryl Ralph for doing her thing, staying in shape and still doing what she's doing at the year and the age and everything that she's doing at that, man, for sure. Salute to all our legends. And make this a lesson from Sheryl Lee Ralph to care, bro. It's okay to care. It's okay to give a dang about what you do. It's okay to give a care about what you do, man. So yeah, shout out to Sheryl Lee Ralph. I'm gonna end with this real quick. All day, all I've seen are these type of photos, AI photos. I really don't want to like promote AI because it's kind of like promoting the ending of my job. But whatever. These pictures have been going around all day. It kind of started with the picture of Michael Jackson, I want to say, R. Kelly, Chris Brown, and Usher. Like that's where it started. And people were like, what about the older folks? What about the older folks? And how did this even freeze up? Okay. I was about to say, how did that freeze up? And yeah, but this one has like the older folks. Luther Vandross, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, Babyface. I think if you talk about the Mount Rushmore, the thing about the Mount Rushmore is our Mount Rushmore, the actual one, is like the four kind of forefathers, like the four like base members of the country or whoever like the sculptors were to say. These are the four guys that helped build the country. So I think if you're looking at R&B and modern R&B and golden age R&B, these are the four that you would go with. However, it's like not one modern person, like not Usher, not you know what I'm saying? And Michael Jackson, we just not counting him as R&B. You know what I'm saying? And if you say who you bump out, I think, salute to Babyface and his pen. His pen is crazy. He's the best pen in probably the history of music. Chappell. They had no idea who he was. But Babyface is him for sure. And his singing ability and the fact that he just put out an all-female, R&B album like 2-3 years ago with Ella May and all them jokers on it and Coco Jones, them jokers on it. Like he's still doing it, just like Jermaine Dupri is still doing it in the R&B side and the production side with the Ari Lennox record, with the Money Long joint that just won the Grammy last year. Made for me, Ebony, you were made for me. And he did the joint with Division a couple years ago. If I get caught cheap, like so, Jermaine Dupri still doing his thing, Babyface still doing his thing. If I had to take out two, I'll take out Babyface and Marvin Gaye, bruh. And who I'll put in them two? I'll say Michael Jackson. Okay, so now where you go? Okay, what if we take out Marvin Gaye from Michael Jackson? I could go with that. Luther Vandross, Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Babyface. Because you're talking about, I want you. Do, do, do. Like, Marvin Gaye made what's going on, bro. Like, that's crazy, dude. That's a timeless. You talk about a timeless record? Like, that song is timeless. Childish Gambino made This Is America. Does it seem like a because people bring it up every time something happens. This is America. But like, that what's going on, bro, is timeless. But Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? And you say he's not R&B. He made Butterflies. Like in year 50, you know what I'm saying? In year 35 of him being famous and in the music industry, he made Butterflies, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to go with this four because Stevie Wonder made like songs in the key of life, right? So he has to be up there. Luther Vandross is probably like the best male singer. Yeah, he probably like the best male singer. Babyface, the best pen ever. Marvin Gaye might be the most soulful dude ever. Like he's real soulful. Amazing voice, amazing music, amazing message. But how you can go over Michael Jackson? Like, so I'm gonna go Luther, Michael Jackson, Stevie, and Babyface as my Mount Rushmore. Shout out to Chris Brown. Shout out to Usher. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to R. Kelly, but that's my four. They saying Prince. A lot of people saying Prince. Prince is funky, bro. Prince is funky. They put out Jacquees. Ah! That's funny. Babyface, nah, he's a songwriter and producer. Oh, duh. That's R&B. Is that not R&B? No, Michael Jackson. Like, you got to be Michael Jackson. R. Kelly canceled out Babyface. Roughly same era. Kells was a better singer and music was a bit stronger. I'm not mad at that. Michael, non-existent. Babyface looking like Morgan Freeman and Barack Obama's little brother. Man, this whole list. Frankie Beverly instead of Frankie Beverly. Rest in peace, Frankie Beverly. No Sam Cooke. Y'all tripping. See, now they going with soul. Now we going with soul. We talking about Otis Redding, Sam Cooke. We talking about soul. We talking about James Brown. Smokey paved the way for all three of these. So now we talking about Smokey. Ronald Isley. This is necessary and does not look like Luther or Babyface. Smokey Robinson has to replace somebody. Swap Luther for Kells. Honestly, Babyface for Chris Brown. Babyface for Chris Brown kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie. But Chris Brown been doing this for 20 years, bro. Chris Brown been doing this for 20 years. Chris Brown got canceled 11 years ago. And he's about to do a stadium tour. I don't know, brother. Chris Brown, one of them ones. I feel like at some point you got to give him it's like LeBron James, right? Like LeBron James might not be in your top 4, your top 5 all time. But like the fact that he's doing what he's doing in year 23, year 24, you're like, I might have to bump LeBron up a couple spots. I'm sorry, Kobe. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, 3 out of the 4 replace Babyface. Are we leaving R. Kelly out because of his crimes? No, Sam Cooke. R. Kelly needs to be there. I ain't replacing Babyface or Marvin. Figure it out. The last one looks like more Barack Obama than Babyface. LOL. AI strikes again. All right. I'm good. Honorable mention Teddy Pendergrass. Where is Ronald Isley? I don't have a problem with the Mount Rushmore, but if I could change out one, Babyface for Teddy Pendergrass. Barry White, Teddy Pendergrass, Al Green. No one said my boy. Lovely day. Why ain't nobody say Bill Withers? Nobody said Bill Withers yet? I'm tripping. Babyface with James Brown. Al Green should be up there. Never considered a Mount Rushmore. Kells. Robert Kelly. Replace Luther with Teddy Pendergrass. Smokey Robinson above Babyface. I thought Luther was Tyler Perry. Much better. Different weight classes. Usher deserves to be there and Michael Jackson. Some people are going to say Usher been, I said Chris Brown been doing it for 20 years. Usher been doing it for 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020. So you've been doing it for 4 decades, bro. Just did a whole 2-3 year tour. Did Super Bowl. Where's A Boogie? It's hilarious. Nope. No, Al Green. Teddy should replace Luther. Babyface, Smokey Robinson. All right. I think if this is 1970, it's hilarious. All right, cool. Is there anybody else? Donnie Hathaway, Al Green. People saying this. Lionel Richie is a new name. Wow. That's I'm sorry. But yeah. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me lock in. I'm so sorry, Lionel Richie. I apologize. I said Tutti Frutti. Lionel Richie is, I like the way you move and I like to fly away. Zoom, 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 zoom from the Commodores, bro. Lionel Richie. That's one of my favorite songs ever. The Barge. I like it. It's one of my favorite songs ever. No one said El DeBarge here. No one said The Barge. No one said. Oh, well, Shaka Khan. That's a woman. Oh man, I don't know, man. This is tough. You can't just save people, bro. Mike and Prince and Pop. People, Bryson. Otis Redding. There's an Otis Redding right there. Jackie Wilson, Curtis Mayfield. Oh, Diamond in the Mac, sunroof top, digging the scene with a gangster lean. You may not have a car at all. Those are souls. These are soul singers. There's a difference between R&B and soul. What is the difference between R&B and soul? Please tell me. Key Sweat. Teddy Pendergrass and Bayward. You ever look at Babyface's discog and his writings? There's a lot of hits, but no real classic records. If I dreamed of you. That's not a classic record? I'm tripping. So they don't play that in the club every Friday night in 2025? I think there should be a female artist on this list. Well, it said the male R&B Mount Rushmore if you read it. Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye. Who else? All right, I'm seeing the same name, so I think I'm gonna cut it there. Bobby Brown. Let's see, I'm doing the wrong thing again. I'm sorry, I apologize. It's late, y'all. Donny Hathaway. I'm seeing a lot of Donny Hathaway. It's his prerogative. All right. That is all. I'm going to end it there. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I've been here for an hour and a half. I was planning to do a shorter stream because I have to wake up earlier tomorrow, but it is what it is. I'll be back tomorrow. I hope you all have a great night, a great day, a great afternoon, a great evening. Whenever you're watching this. Until next time, my name is Rashad Milligan. I'll see you tomorrow.
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
Good question.
Brandon,
We
you want one quick
can't
question?
ask Rashad a question.
Hey, Rashad.